There's no guidebook for what to do when the person you gave everything to looks you in the eyes and says, "I need time to find myself." Those words, as simple as they may seem, hold the weight of heartbreak disguised as self-discovery. At first, you want to believe it's temporary. You convince yourself it's just a rough patch, that they need space, not distance. That love is strong enough to survive silence. But sometimes, silence says it all. My name is Joseph, and this is the story of how the woman I loved shattered my world and how, against all odds, I chose to rebuild. I met Lily in college during our sophomore year. She had a quiet confidence, the kind of energy that pulls you in before you even realize it. I still remember the first time I saw her in the library, surrounded by books, hair tucked behind her ears, eyes buried in a novel. There was something about her presence that felt grounding, like I could stop running from the weight of my own loneliness. At the time, I wasn't actively looking for love. My past had been a string of disappointments, relationships that left more scars than memories. I had known betrayal, been ghosted, lied to, and even used. Somewhere along the way, I began to think maybe love just wasn't for me. But Lily made me believe again. Slowly she became the center of my universe. What started as shared classes turned into coffee dates, long walks across campus, late-night phone calls, and weekends lost in each other's arms. We grew close quickly. With Lily, it didn't feel like we were rushing. It felt like catching up, as if we had known each other in a past life. Our connection was deeper than attraction. We talked about everything: childhood traumas, future dreams, our fears and hopes. She said she had walls. I told her I would wait until she felt safe enough to let me in, and she did, or at least, I believed she did. By the time we graduated, we were inseparable. We moved in together after landing jobs in the same city. It felt like the beginning of forever. I was ready to give her everything. Emotionally, mentally, physically, I was all in. But something shifted after 3 years together. The change was slow, almost imperceptible. She started withdrawing in subtle ways: less eye contact, more time on her phone, shorter conversations. We stopped planning the future as often. At first I thought she was just overwhelmed with work. We both were. Life had become busy, but love, I thought, was still intact. Then came the visit to her parents. I had been planning it for months, not just to meet them again, but because I had a ring tucked away, hidden in my suitcase. I had rehearsed my proposal speech 100 times in my head. I wanted to ask for their blessing, propose to Lily, and take the next step in our life together. The visit went well on the surface. Her parents were kind and welcoming. They talked about Lily's childhood, asked about my work, and shared stories over dinner. I left that weekend thinking everything was going exactly as planned. I had their blessing, and in my heart I felt ready. But once we returned home, Lily changed. It was immediate. Her warmth disappeared. Our conversations became awkward. Her laughter faded. She stopped responding to my touch, pulling away with the excuse of being tired. Her eyes, once so full of affection, now avoided mine. Her phone was always in her hands. When I talked, she barely listened. I asked her what was wrong. She said nothing, that I was imagining things, that she was just tired. Gaslighting in its quietest form. Weeks passed like this. I started waking up in the middle of the night just to watch her sleep, wondering what had gone so wrong. I blamed myself. Was I too much? Not enough? Did I smother her with love? Did I fail to see her pain? Then one day she said she needed space, that she was going to stay with her parents for a while. When I asked if we could still talk, she said, "Please, respect that I need time to figure things out." It was the coldness in her voice that crushed me more than the words. It was like I was a stranger to her now. Still, I said okay. I respected her wishes. I loved her, and I told myself that if space was what she needed, I would give it. For the next week I spiraled. I barely ate. I couldn't sleep. My mind wouldn't stop replaying our last few weeks together. I kept thinking about the ring still hidden in my drawer, the one that now felt like a monument to my own foolishness. Then, everything shattered. One evening after work, I was scrolling through Instagram, hoping to distract myself from the ache. I saw a post from her mother, a family vacation, sunny beaches, smiling faces, and then, there she was, Lily on the sand, in a bikini wrapped around a man I instantly recognized as her ex from high school. His arm was around her waist, her hand on his chest. They weren't just catching up, they looked like lovers, comfortable, happy. I stared at that photo for what felt like hours. I remembered how she had always said he was just an old friend, that he reached out occasionally, but she had no interest. She assured me he was part of the past. And like a fool, I believed her. I thought she was with her parents trying to figure herself out, but she was figuring it out on a beach, in his arms. That night I didn't sleep. I didn't cry either. I just went numb. The betrayal wasn't loud, it was silent. The kind that buries itself deep into your bones. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I boxed up everything she left behind. Clothes, jewelry, photos, letters, gifts. I added the small things too: the coffee mug she loved, the scarf I bought her, the framed photo from our anniversary, not out of spite but for closure. I printed a shipping label, sent it to her parents' house, added signature confirmation. I wanted her to receive the message loud and clear. I was done. 2 days later she called, not to apologize, not to explain, but to yell. She said it was immature to send her things back, that I embarrassed her, that I should have waited to talk. I let her speak. I listened quietly. When she was done, I said 3 words: enjoy your life. Then I hung up and I never looked back.